Our severe weather threat is ramping up fast, so I'm going to be talking about what you need to know about this severe weather threat. So let's get right into the video. Wednesday, May 13th, 2026, and we got 3 areas to be watching for potential severe weather today. One is in parts of the Northeast and parts of the Ohio Valley, and then one is in Texas Panhandle, and another one is in portions of the High Plains in the Rockies. We do have a potential for an isolated tornado today, damaging winds and hail. But tornadoes are not going to be a big concern, actually. I do think that there might be a very small tornado risk today, mainly out here. If we get one of those storms to really mature, but I don't think a tornado threat is going to be that crazy today. But the main concerns today will be mainly damaging winds and hail, as you can see right here. Let's start off with our marginal risk that's over here in parts of the Ohio Valley in the Northeast. This is going from western Virginia up into parts of New York, where we do have a potential for severe weather today. The main concerns are going to be damaging winds. As you can see here, we do have some potentials for some damaging winds. I wouldn't rule out maybe a slight risk being issued somewhere in here, but I don't think that they will add. There's a low chance that they'll add it. And then chance for some potential hail over here as well. The hail risk is not going to be that high either. And we do not have a tornado risk today. So if you're out here, just make sure you're staying weather aware and make sure you strap down unsecured objects so they don't fly away, and park your car in a garage so that it doesn't get damaged by hail. Now, the other area to watch is down here in the Texas Panhandle, where we don't know if storms are going to form, but if they do form, they could produce maybe some damaging winds and hail down there near Amarillo, Texas. So we don't completely know if the storms will form, but if they do, they could be severe. And then the main concern is over here. Actually, this is pretty rare for May over here in parts of the High Plains and portions of the Rockies here. There is a marginal risk going from parts of northwestern Colorado all the way up into parts of Montana, and then actually a level 2 out of 5 slight risk going from Salt Lake City up into parts of Montana, where we do have a potential for severe weather today. Helena, in Salt Lake City, you guys are inside that slight risk. Then Billings, you guys are inside that marginal risk. Going over to our tornado risk, and see up here, we're going to have little to no tornado risk up here today. But we are going to have the main concern with damaging winds, as you can see here, from Salt Lake City up into parts of Montana. We're going to have storms form out there, having a chance to produce some pretty damaging winds. As you can see here, is wind conditional Tennessee Group 1 risks. So definitely got to be watching out here for damaging winds. Make sure you're strapped on unsecured objects. We don't have a big hail risk up here today, so that's good. So definitely make sure you're staying weather aware if you're up there, as you guys usually don't get severe weather, as it's not that common in May for portions of the High Plains and the Rockies. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. You can see that these are some of the storms that we could see form out here towards the mid-Atlantic areas out here today. You can see this is what it could look like. Portions of the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. You can see we're going to have some storms start to form into more of a line. You can see this is my area that I'm watching for more of a damaging wind threat for western Pennsylvania. That's definitely an area to be watching. We could be seeing some damaging winds out there today, so definitely be aware for potential severe thunderstorm warnings if you're out there in that risk, because this is what some of the storms could look like. Pittsburgh, you guys might get a storm around 3 p.m. Eastern. So definitely be watching out if you're out there. Then they'll kind of continue moving east and kind of just die out. And then moving over to the Texas Panhandle, we do not know if storms are going to form. But as you can see here, if they do form, they could be severe. As of right now, the HRRR doesn't really have any storms forming out there right now, so might not get a storm to form out there in the Texas Panhandle. But the reason why we got that marginal risk is because if we do get a storm to form, it could be severe. They're not here for parts of the portions of the High Plains and Rockies. These are some of the storms that could pop up, potentially produce some damaging winds. As you can see here, some strong winds definitely will be a potential out here with some of these storms. So definitely, if you're out here, be very prepared for severe storms if you're out here towards the portions of the High Plains and the Rockies, even over there towards the Pacific Northwest. We're going to have a lot of rain coming, maybe a few gusty winds. So that's also something to be watching very closely, as that's the Northern Rockies area to be watching for potential severe weather. And we're going to have no tornado threat up here. Like I said, the threat is mainly going to be for damaging winds. Switching over for tomorrow on Thursday, on May 14th, we will have another severe weather chance from the Texas Panhandle up into parts of western Illinois. Right now, we have a marginal risk going from the Texas Panhandle into western Illinois, and then a slight risk over here in parts of eastern Kansas. For tomorrow, On Thursday, we're mainly looking at a chance for some damaging winds and hail. The tornado risk is going to be little to no. There's going to be little to no tornado risk. If you get one of those storms really mature, we could see a pretty large, very large to very large hail out there. Switching back over to the future radar for tomorrow, you can see that these are some of the storms that we could be seeing tomorrow. It's another question: are they going to develop? It seems like there's a decent chance that they will, and if they do, they could be pretty severe, as you can see right here. See a few storms develop out there. Damaging winds and hail will be the main concern. Little to no tornado threat tomorrow, so that's what some of the storms could look like out there for tomorrow. This is what it could look like at 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's what it could look like at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, right there. But it's really just nothing too crazy for tomorrow. And then, yeah, it's pretty much what tomorrow is looking like. But as we get into Friday, we will have another severe weather threat from parts of northern Oklahoma, into eastern Kansas, northern Missouri, western Illinois, southern Iowa. This is for Friday. It's kind of in the same area as on Thursday. Or we could have another severe weather threat, mainly looking at chances for some damaging winds and hail. As you can see here, we got a 15% any severe risk at the any severe conditional intensity group 1 risk. So we can see any severe conditional intensity group 1 risks out there. So still watching Friday though as well. It's kind of going to be kind of like Thursday though. So still watching Friday, but the main stuff isn't going to get until Saturday, as you can see right here. This is on Saturday. You can see that we have a 15% any severe risk probability going from northern Oklahoma into parts of southern Iowa. Where on Saturday, we could be dealing with a more of a significant severe weather threat than on Thursday and Friday, with damaging winds and hail being the main concern, but a isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out. So definitely got to be watching Saturday very closely here. As you can see, we got a 15% any severe risk right now. You can see on Saturday we're going to have some of these storms pop up. This is kind of just to give you a look at the area where the storms are going to be popping up at. We're going to have storms pop up out there, potentially causing some severe damaging winds out there. So definitely got to be watching Saturday very closely there as they develop. And then as we get into Sunday, we will have another severe weather threat on Sunday. And then Sunday's severe weather threat could be worse than Saturday's, actually, all the way from northwestern Oklahoma all the way into southern Minnesota. Sunday, we could have a chance for tornadoes, and potentially one being strong, damaging winds, and hail. So we got to be watching Sunday very closely as well. As you can see here, there's a 15% any severe risk probably right now. This will probably shift a lot. But as you can see here, this is what Sunday's threat could look like as we get some of those storms to develop. And then one of the even more concerning days that we're going to be getting is actually going to be on Monday. As you can see here, there's a very large 15% any severe risk probability going from northern Texas into parts of Wisconsin, even parts of the UP and Michigan. You guys have a 15% any severe risk for Monday. Monday is expected to bring a very widespread potential severe weather or tornado outbreak, with multiple tornadoes likely, some of them being strong, with very large hail and potential destructive damaging winds also on the table for Monday. So that's definitely something to be watching as we have entered peak severe weather season. So Monday is definitely something to be watching very closely. As you can see, this is what Monday could look like. I'm going to say from Wisconsin all the way down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's probably going to be the main corridor to watch for severe weather on Monday, as you can see right here. Switching over to the dew point here, look how much moisture we are going to be having on Monday here. Look at all of this moisture that we're going to be seeing. It's going to be completely primed for severe weather on Monday, as you can see right here, with all this moisture getting pulled up from the Gulf into the United States. That's going to lead to a very big severe weather threat, with large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes all on the table. And if we even switch over to CAPE, which stands for Convective Available Potential Energy, you can see that it's probably going to be off the charts. Let's check out CAPE here. As you can see, this is what CAPE could be looking like. If we push it up to Monday, look how much CAPE we could be dealing with out there. Right here, you can see we might be having like 3,000 to 4,000 joules per kilogram out there. So definitely our atmosphere is going to be primed on Monday. Now look at the GFS wind model here. You can see if we push it up, you can see all these storm systems that we're going to get. You can see over here, when the storm system that's going to be causing the severe weather today, it's going to come out of Oregon in the Pacific Northwest. This is a trough that's going to come out of there, and that's going to cause that severe weather potential in portions of the Rockies and high plains. Then there's this trough back here that came down from Canada that's going to be causing the severe weather potential in portions of the Ohio Valley. Those troughs move through. Then we're going to have more of these other troughs come through, causing the severe weather potentials. And then Monday's trough is looking insane, as you can see here. We could be seeing a large trough come out. into those areas, causing a significant severe weather potential, as you can see right there. So definitely got to be watching Monday, as you can see. Look at that. So definitely got to be watching that very closely for Monday. And it's looking like the rest of May is going to be very active with more severe weather. So yeah, definitely make sure you're staying weather aware. But I do also want to talk about some of the temperatures that we could be seeing here with a heat dome that is going to be setting up in parts of the United States. As you can see here, this is a temperature anomaly, and pushing it up so you can see how much warm air is going to be making its way mainly into the eastern half of the United States and parts of the central United States. We see this cold air that's kind of sitting over the eastern half. That's going to move out, and then we're going to have this warm air start to come in. And that's going to be a heat dome that's going to sit over parts of the eastern half in the central part of the United States. So it's about to get pretty warm out there. Then we're going to have these cooler air coming down from parts of the Pacific Northwest, and that warm air clashing together, leading to also those severe weather potentials in the middle. You do have potential for some fire weather today if you're out here in parts of northeastern Montana, and that's probably going to be the main area to be watching for critical fire weather. But then even down there into the portions of the Rockies and those areas, you guys also could be dealing with elevated fire weather risk today. So definitely be careful and don't throw your cigarette out of the window. And very nice weather is setting up today across a very large portion of the United States, with a perfect day going from Atlanta, Georgia, all the way into parts of western Minnesota. So get out there and enjoy the weather today, as it's going to be real nice. So make sure to stay tuned to the channel. We'll likely have multiple live streams, multiple shorts, and multiple videos out to keep you updated. And I'll see you in the next weather update video. Stay tuned and have a wonderful day.